As a member of Moms Demand Action, I'm sure you're aware of the organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So having 4 children, all of whom have been in school during a school shooting or just a random mall shooting or a movie shooting or a concert shooting, I think you know what my question is going to be, but in the state of New Hampshire, the laws are significantly different than other states surrounding us. We are open carry, and I was wondering what you were going to do about the gun issues we're having all across this country, and the weapons that are available that should only be used on, in war.
Right.
What is your plan?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for your advocacy and yeah. I bet. And yet, as we were saying earlier, it is only by forming that public pressure that you develop the political will to make any of these changes. Really, Moms Demand Action, the students who led the walkouts and the marches for our lives, they're the ones who deserve the credit. You're the one who deserves the credit for the fact that the House passed universal background checks. You will deserve the credit once we compel the Senate to follow suit and get the president to sign that into law. But you're doing it because you know that it saves lives. We'll see nearly 40,000 lives lost in this country this year due to gun violence. No other country comes close to this level of bloodshed. And for me, it forces the question, is there something wrong with us? Evil about us? Inherently violent about Americans? Or is this a human cause problem with a human solution, and we've just failed to bridge those two? And that's what I choose to believe. It sounds like that's what you choose to believe. And whether it's universal background checks that close every loophole. So the boyfriend loophole, which says if you don't have a legal relationship with somebody, then it's not material that you've beaten your boyfriend or your girlfriend when you try to purchase a gun. Close that loophole so that we know your history of violence and ensure that you cannot use that firearm against a loved one or yourself or anybody else. The Charleston loophole, which says that if it's taken too many days, we'll just forego the background check and you can have the gun. That's
crazy.
That we do that in this country. So everybody has a background check before they can purchase and use a firearm. You made a really great point. So weapons of war were designed, engineered, and then sold to the United States military for the express purpose of killing people as effectively, as efficiently as possible. And this is something that I had a lot of conversations about in the state of Texas, as you can imagine. And folks would say, well, what's wrong with me being able to have an AR-15? First thing I'd say is, if you have an AR-15, keep the AR-15, use it responsibly. I do not want to take your gun. But here's the thing. When I talk to emergency room doctors who've treated gunshot wounds, they tell me that when they're treating somebody who's been shot by a handgun, if that bullet did not hit a major artery or your heart and we get to you in time, we can save your life. But an AR-15, high velocity, high impact round, produces a hole the size of an orange out your back. It shreds everything inside. You are dead because that's exactly what it was designed to do. Yeah. Keep that on the battlefield. Don't sell any more into our country, into our communities. They end up in our churches, in our synagogues, in our schools, in our public life. They take the lives of our fellow Americans. Red flag laws, when someone exhibits behavior that tells us that they may be a danger to themselves or someone else in their life or your life or my life, let's stop them before it's too late. All of these are common sense. All of these we talked about in every one of the 254 counties of Texas, and we learned that Republicans, Democrats, independents, gun owners, and non-gun owners alike see this. What then explains the fact that we failed to make progress? It's because the NRA, up until Moms Demand and some of the advocacy groups that have developed over the last 10 years, has been able to call the tune with members of Congress, purchase their complicity and their silence. The law that says that the Centers for Disease Control cannot even study gun violence, lest we learn the truth and the facts, and that compels us to act. It would be like 50 years ago if there was a law that said the Surgeon General cannot study the link between cigarette smoke and lung cancer in this country. We got to make sure that we're doing what's great for people, not what's great for corporations, right, special interests, polls, even the next election. So this campaign that takes no PAC money is all about listening to and following the lead of people like you. Is going to produce the leadership I hope that will allow us to make these changes that we need. It'll save lives. Thank you for asking.